What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. In today's video, we're going to go over the end of the Dallas Mavericks 2024-2025 season, which is probably going to go down as one of the most brutal and infamous seasons that they're ever going to have as an NBA franchise. If you guys watched the game last night between the Mavericks and the Grizzlies, you'll know that the Memphis Grizzlies are advancing to the NBA playoffs, securing that 8th seed in the Western Conference, and sending Dallas home with a lot of questions to be answered going into this offseason. I'm going to start off by saying this. Nico Harrison has essentially created one of the most self-inflicted wounds that you will ever see from an NBA franchise. I'll even take it one step further. This is one of the most self-inflicted wounds that any sports franchise could ever make. You have Luka Doncic, who is probably one of the best players in the NBA. He's probably a top 5 NBA player. At best, he could even be top 3. And Nico Harrison decided to say that Luka Doncic is not going to be a focal piece of the franchise, and we're going to send him away, and we're going to bring in Anthony Davis, and he is going to be paired with Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson, and he believes that that is the formula to win NBA championships. No, Nico Harrison is an idiot. He made an absolute fool of himself by making this trade. If I'm a part of the ownership group when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, you need to fire Nico Harrison immediately. This is absolutely ridiculous what he has done to this franchise. When you take Luka Doncic, you send him away. You have shortened your championship window from probably a decade plus to within about 4 to 5 years. And 5 years is kind of pushing it. I would say probably 2 to 3. Because Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and Klay Thompson, they're all in their 30s. But you compare it to Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is in his mid-20s. Probably hasn't even hit his prime yet. And Luka Doncic, paired with Kyrie Irving last year, led the Dallas Mavericks to an NBA Finals appearance. Now, granted, they lost to the Boston Celtics last year, but them just making the NBA Finals last year, going through a really competitive Western Conference, was a huge accomplishment just by itself. And it was also indicative of forward progression with Luka Doncic leading the team. Now you fast forward to this year, they have missed the playoffs entirely. And Nico Harrison's justification is that he believes that Anthony Davis would be one of the focal pieces that would be leading the Dallas Mavericks to an NBA championship with defense in mind. And that, unfortunately, is not the case because you've just departed with a potential first ballot Hall of Famer. This is the track that Luka Doncic is on here because the way that Luka has started off his career is pointing in that direction. When it comes to the leadership of how Dallas has been managing this situation, I have no faith in them whatsoever because the fan base is shouting from the rooftops. They have been doing this for the last 2.5 months. They have been chanting "Fire Nico" ever since the trade took place. When Luka went back to Dallas, where he dropped 45 points against his former team, every time that somebody was at the free throw line, Mavericks fans were shouting, "Fire Nico." This was going on not only in this game, but pretty much in every home game that Dallas was playing in because they were venting out their frustration. And they had every right to. They felt as if they had the rug pulled out underneath them, their hearts ripped out, because all of the years of support and the faith that they put in the franchise had been ripped away from them when Luka got traded. It was even indicative when Luka was watching the tribute video that Dallas had arranged for him. Luka was crying the entire time throughout that 2.5-minute tribute video. And nobody can look at that situation and not have sympathy for Luka when a lot more attention is paid towards the general manager of the team instead of the players that are playing on the court because of one trade that he made 2.5 months ago and the controversy that has surrounded it since. You've got a major problem. A major problem. And on top of that, you look at the Dallas Mavericks moving forward. What sort of investment do you think that the fans are going to make and do you think players are going to make? And this is another thing that I have to kind of get to here. I have seen multiple NBA personalities talk about this trade ever since that it took place. And I believe that the way that they have been covering this trade, as far as the impact of it is concerned, has been 100% off base here. Brian Windhorst was on First Take just a couple days ago with Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. And he was saying that it was malpractice for the Dallas Mavericks not to get Austin Reeves in the trade package with Luka. To me, that's missing the point. It was malpractice for Nico Harrison to even arrange the trade that sent Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. Anybody with a brain can tell you that sending Luka Doncic is an outright mistake. And to do it in the manner that they did, with basically getting nothing in return, even makes it worse. But when it comes to malpractice, Luka Doncic being involved in any trade is malpractice. Let's start off with that. And then on top of that, they are acting as if this trade is too premature to judge yet. What are you talking about here? If Stephen A. Smith was in a situation where he had to discuss about Jalen Brunson being traded from the New York Knicks, do you think he would have the same opinion? What are we talking about here? It's too premature? No. This is outright ridiculous. And to treat it as if it's too early to tell from this trade, no, it is absolutely not. I do not want to hear that. Everybody in Dallas has had their heart ripped out. And it is justifiably so, their anger towards one person, and that's Nico Harrison. When your fan base is this irate and this heartbroken over the decision that you made, this is what you deal with. And unfortunately, the Dallas Mavericks are a broken franchise because of one lone man's decision in this case by sending the franchise piece that everybody loved and had the utmost loyalty in. And now he is going to go on a potential deep playoff run with the Los Angeles Lakers alongside LeBron James. When it comes to Dallas fans, listen, I have the utmost sympathy for you guys. Like I said, this is not something that you guys deserved. Luka didn't deserve this. And truth be told, the team didn't deserve this. And now, where do you guys go from here? Because there's going to be a lot of questions that have to be answered over this offseason. And this is the last place that you want to be in as a franchise, where essentially any sort of momentum that was built when Luka was here has been completely ripped away. Kyrie's not coming back until January. Anthony Davis is once again hurt, and he will probably continue to be hurt. Unfortunately, I don't wish injury on anybody, but he just can never stay healthy. And Klay Thompson is in his mid-30s. Good job, Nico Harrison. You shortened the championship window of the franchise from over a decade plus to 2 to 3 years. And in the year that you make this trade, you guys don't even make the playoffs. Congratulations. You did this. And the end result should be you should be fired. It goes without saying that you need to go because this trade has destroyed not only the team, the franchise, but the fan base. And it is unacceptable that this joke of a general manager should continue being in that role for the Dallas Mavericks.